I'm Brian of WVGamers. Typically, whenever we're streaming, we are streaming more board games than anything. Unfortunately, or actually fortunately, Amanda recently, this earlier this week, got hired on to run a hotel as the general manager. So she's going to be a little preoccupied for probably the next couple weeks or so. So I'm experimenting with some other things to try with streaming, so then I'm at least streaming once a week. So what I'm going to do tonight is show off something kind of neat and new. So if anyone hasn't heard, Amazon recently has kicked off this cloud gaming service called Luna. Basically, for a monthly fee, you can access all of the games that they have in their library, and basically you're playing it off the cloud. So you don't even have to have a really good computer as long as you can support streaming. Essentially, you have to have decent internet. Then you can actually uh, just play using their servers. So what you need for it is a subscription, which there's different tiers of subscription. I believe I signed up for like a $5.99, but there's also like an Ubisoft add-on and stuff like that. And then you'll need a controller. Now you can use Xbox controller or anything that you can hook up to your computer, but what they say will get you the best performance is using their Luna controller. Of course, they would want you to use their proprietary controller. So it is the Luna, and I got this because I signed up for the early access for this. This I got, I think, for 50 or something like that, and it's a nice controller. I've already opened it and tried it out a little bit to get it connected and everything. And that is it. It has this nice purple accents under here to kind of distinguish their services and stuff. It has their little Amazon smile logo on the back, of course. And it does use AA batteries, but you can use it wired to your computer using a USB-C cable. It also has Bluetooth. But that's not the way that they want you to use the controller. It's very interesting because it's actually going to get their best performance. They actually want you to connect this directly to your Wi-Fi because it's trying to cut out the middleman of your computer, being the input reading of it, basically. So what'll happen is you'll connect this to Wi-Fi using your app on your phone. It'll connect it to your Wi-Fi network, and then when you actually are in game, it's sending the signal directly to your router, out to their cloud, and then you're getting more direct feedback when it's coming onto the screen. So it's supposed to work very well. I have not actually had time, because I just got this today, to really try out the different connections and see what the response is. Right now, I'm just trying to get a feel for how the service runs itself. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to play a little bit of Bloodstained using their services. So as of right now, what is available, let me switch over to a different view. What's currently available in their services is a reasonable number of, a lot of them are like more of your, considered your indie games. But that's what we just showed is basically everything that's currently available. It is still in early access, so I expect as they are finishing the rollout and testing of the service, this will get a little better and there will be more games added onto this. But again, there are so many services out there that we're going to see how well it lasts. With my about an hour of testing earlier, the games are pretty responsive. I did notice with Bloodstained, it didn't necessarily look quite as good as I kind of expected. It looks good. Don't get me wrong. It does look pretty good. I played the entire game multiple times on the Switch, so it should look a lot better. And honestly, if I'd pull up both on the same game on both systems side by side using matching monitors, it probably does look a lot better. But I actually had no issues playing it on the Switch. I actually really like it. I love the Castlevania series, so Bloodstain is perfect to me. So unlike a lot of people, I didn't have that issue. So I played it entirely on there. So we're going to go ahead and try it on here using their service. So you'll just launch it like this. I'll go ahead and connect up the controller itself. And basically, actually, while that's loading. So again, this is the Luna controller. It looks, let me try not to talk over that, looks very much like a Switch Pro controller. Same kind of button layout for the most part. It has a couple extra buttons, or actually probably the same number of buttons. Yeah. And again, it also looks a lot like the Xbox controller. Same type of button layout, same location of the joysticks. Obviously, it's not going to look like the PlayStation controller because the PlayStation controller has the joysticks down here, but it does have the press buttons on the joysticks. I haven't actually figured out if these are adaptive triggers or anything. I haven't looked up the documentation yet. I will before the next time I stream. And yeah, and it's even got a built-in microphone, so then you can use, I won't say her name because it'll trigger all of them in the house, but you can use your voice assistant through Amazon. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start trying to play this and see how well it works. Like I said, I have actually tried this, so, and I will actually start a brand new game. The strange thing is, I haven't played this enough yet, but I actually do still have to type it in with the keyboard. I'm not sure how that would work with playing on other platforms. It is also compatible. There's a way to play it on your smartphone as well. I'm getting the clip for that next week, so I'll try that out. But so I have to actually type it here. Hopefully the volume of the game is not too loud. All right.
The Industrial Revolution ushered in a new era that threatened to transform the values of men. No longer would spirituality be their compass, but not all welcomed the change. In 1783, just as the fires of the Laki eruption had plunged all of Europe into an ashen darkness, a horde of demons spilled from the shadows and fell upon city after English city. It was a message. The Alchemy Guild, fearing the rise of industrialism and abandonment by their wealthy patrons, had done the unthinkable to defend their existence. Through recondite arts, the alchemists had created shard binders, humans transplanted with crystal that attuned them to demonic power. They sacrificed the shard binders, and in doing so threw the gates of the world open to demonkind. Countless innocents died, and though the church succeeded in vanquishing the Hell's End, a steep price had already been paid and collected. As for the shard binders, they were presumed to have all died in the sacrificial rite. However, two survived. Jebel, a boy for whom by some miracle the rite did not prove fatal. And Miriam, a girl who was spared the rite altogether on account of the strange slumber that took her just before it could begin. 10 years had passed. Mankind too soon forgets tragedy. The demons have returned, presaged by a great castle. And on this very hour, Miriam awakens. Upon learning Jebel is the architect of this new, bloodstained ritual, Miriam and the alchemist Johannes set forth for the accursed castle. Their galleon cuts through the water, lancing towards the inevitable.
Creepy boat. Check.
Johannes, are you certain it was...
It was Jeebel's doing, Miriam. No mistake.
It's so hard to believe. I wouldn't even be alive if not for him. He's a good soul.
I know. I know how you feel. But the facts are apparent. And the hell he endured 10 years ago would break the best of souls. Miriam, I want you to know that I'm sorry. What my brothers subjected you to...
It was their transgression, not yours. You always took care of us.
Obviously, not enough.
Well, let it go, Johannes. We need to focus on the task ahead. If Jeebel is responsible for the summoning, then I have to stop him.
I ought to do it. He was my best friend.
But I'm the only one who can. The shard experiments prepared me for combat. Let them amount to something. 10 whole years. What put me in that sleep?
I wish I had the answer. All I know is the spell that stopped time for you was advanced, arcane. But by observing the ebb of the magic's hold on you, I was able to predict exactly when you would wake up.
Oh, I see.
We'll make landfall soon. You should get ready. I had the chest there packed with essential equipment. Now would be a good time to put it on.
Not this chest. This chest over here. It's like... It has been a while since I've done the beginning portion of this, so... Alright, so we have our equipment. No shards yet. So, anyone who is not familiar...
You're prepared. The next order of business is to...
So anyone who's not familiar with this, this is the sort of not reimagining, but basically the creator of Castlevania Symphony of the Night and most of the later Castlevanias that kind of went away from the level-based structure. Left Konami years ago because of some differences, and everyone loved those exploration-style Castlevania games. So a few years ago, they went to Kickstarter and said, hey, if you want that, let's create one. It got funded. It was one of the, I think, top funded video games. I don't know if it's been overtopped or like overtaken at this point or not. But basically, it's not Castlevania, but there's going to be a lot of similarities to Symphony of the Night. Even, I think some of the voice casts are the same. I think there's definitely Alucard's voice actor from the original PlayStation version's definitely in here. He's almost Alucard in this one too, but I won't ruin that. But there are a number of the same voice casts from then that are doing the voice in this now. So there's going to be a lot of similarities. So back over to this.
I'll take care of it.
Was that a shard?
I'd forgotten the way it felt. Like uninvited claws scraping across my bones.
The demon's power was transmuted into that shard, which forcibly bonded to the crystal embedded in your body. The strength you gain from it is undeniable, but eventually, the crystal will devour you.
I thought the procedure you discovered halted the corruption.
It did, but that doesn't guarantee you'll be safe if you start absorbing shards in massive quantities.
I know my body's limits better than anyone, and I'm going to need all the power I can get. And if I run into trouble, you can help me. You've done it before. You'll do it.
Thanks for giving me a choice in the matter. Well, I won't let you down. Not if I can help it. Just promise you won't push yourself.
Uh-oh.
How did they get inside?
The demons from the castle must have infested the ship.
Then they can help me wake up these muscles of mine. I'll wipe the deck with them.
Alright, so in classic Castlevania fashion, you have lamps that you can bash to get stuff out of them, coins all lay to shop. So I'm just kind of testing the responsiveness. It's pretty responsive. Now, I will say the D-pad is a little stiff, and while I would just use the analog stick, to be honest, I'm so used to using the D-stick. It's really hard for me to use this because I just feel like I always kind of get at a corner because I don't hold it correct or something. So I try to do that. So you'll see I'll probably get my butt kicked a little bit, and so we'll see how well that works. And I am noticing that there is a network connection error that keeps popping up now and then. I'm not sure why that is, but that is one of the downfalls to playing a game clearly on a cloud service. I have a little over 100 downstream and I think like 8 upstream. So I should have plenty enough data to support playing this. So we'll kind of see how it plays out and whatnot. I didn't have a whole lot of issues with it before. I'm so glad the music is quite lively like it used to be in the other games. I feel like they actually got the same composer if I recall correctly.
This device responds to magic. Maybe I just need to hold my hand up to it.
Probably grind a level or two here just to make it a little bit easier. I'm not used to not having good equipment because I've completely beat this on the Switch. I think I even have max souls for everything except like the ones that you have to play literally 9 times to collect. I didn't quite complete that many yet. Tomato. So yeah, so I got a shard earlier that allows me to kind of shoot, I believe they're water, but what you'll be able to do over the course of the game as you collect more shards, you'll be able to equip them in these different slots. This one's obviously conjuring up something, manipulation, I'm trying to remember if that's, can't remember what that one is until I get one. Directional, you'll use the second analog stick to point around, and some are attacks, some are other things. Passive are typically stats or allow you to get more money and things like that. Familiar will literally have a little familiar pop up and help you in battle. And pretty much every enemy gives you a shard. So what happens is the higher your luck, the more likely you are to get a shard drop. So what I typically do, which I may not do necessarily while I'm streaming, is I typically kill monsters until I get their shards. So it's kind of boring to watch, but I've spent hours on a couple of them that are very hard to get. Oh yeah, I think I got a piece of equipment I can equip. Yeah, give me a little bit of extra. Be happy when I get a sword or something that has longer reach. And as with all of these games, there are certain things you can come back and get later when you have the ability to double jump and... oh shit. So you'll notice I cannot get up here on the upper part of the map, but once I have the ability to double jump, I believe I can get up there then. It might take my reverse gravity ability, which you'll get much later. Can slide through there. Yeah, so they'll drop roses that'll replenish your mana, which you use to use your special things like that. And these are basically just telling you about the different types of attacks in the game. I do remember when the game first came out, I remember the Switch had a bad issue with the bookshelves. And anytime you'd go to read a book, there was a chance that your game would crash. So there were some early issues with the Switch build, and I think it actually happened on the other consoles as well. I've decided I'm going to go back and kill this one thing a couple times. See if I can get his soul to pop out. Or level up. So, it's good that they got some of those issues kind of cleaned up. I really didn't have a whole lot of issues personally, though. Okay, so two shots of my shard and a stab will do it. Okay. I always feel like she should move a little bit faster than she does. Not too worried about taking a little bit of damage since the save point's right down here. I'll kill that thing 2 more times and see if it drops the shard. I can't remember if this one might take more kills to get it. It's a little harder, I think. Obviously, the sooner you can get the luck augmenting shards, the better, because that'll make everything just easier to do, collecting shards and collecting items and whatnot. Let's see, 29, 30. Shit. So yeah, overall responsiveness is not bad at all. I cannot complain. I'm getting my butt kicked a little bit more just because I'm trying to get my muscle memory back from playing this for so long. Then I've gotten so used to playing on the little Switch Joy-Cons attached to the Switch, it's just a little different. Oh. Yep, I thought that was... MP up. Yeah, so one thing, if you've never played a Castlevania game, always stab walls. Because there's a chance that there's going to be a wall chicken, or secret passages. Got a gun, don't really want to use the gun. The guns have their uses, but at the same time, I don't like dealing with them. They're slower and not as fun to use. I'd rather get up in someone's face and just attack them. recall correctly, there's at least 2 more walls that have stuff hidden in them. Yes, give me your fire shard. So I believe this is a directional shard. Yep. So I need this for here because I'm going to point my hand in this direction and hit the right trigger, and it will cast that or get that on fire to shoot and clear out the wall for you. And there are some shards in the game that will help you traverse areas that you can't get to initially. Okay, I know one of these walls have a secret in them. I think it's this one. So yeah, if you like action, kind of action platformers with some RPG elements, honestly, there's not many better than the Castlevania series, and this one as well. I know a lot of people had some issues early on with it, but I personally never had many issues. I had some crashes here and there, but otherwise, the game was pretty solid. I know there was some backer goals that was supposed to be provided, but didn't for development reasons. I also know the Switch version had its own unique issues just because when the game was first announced, the Wii U was out. So the game was initially going to be developed for the Wii U, but the Wii U did not fare nearly as well, so the Switch came out a lot sooner than probably Nintendo was going to release a new system, so that's why they had to kind of change developments and move to this. And it doesn't have the same, necessarily the same engine as the other platforms, so it was a little more difficult for them to develop, had more limitations because of hardware, all that fun stuff. But honestly, I didn't have a lot of issues with the Switch implementation of the game. I'm a huge fan, so maybe I just overlooked a lot of those things, but honestly, it was a fun experience for me. I've probably got 50 or 60 hours, if not more, on that version. Ooh, short sword. Oh, why not? Should give me a tiny bit more reach. Yeah. A little slower, but more reach. I don't have my down kick yet. And there are secret abilities that you can unlock when wearing the correct weapon. So let me show you that. If I could do it with this controller. And if I recall correctly, if you do it enough times, you unlock it. Yeah. So, just a quick little kick. So, kind of fun, but otherwise, don't use it a whole lot. I can't remember. Yeah, so the more you use it, the more you master it, and just all around gets better. So I'll equip that. I'll keep the boots on for a minute, just to use that on some enemies, because you just can't grind it into the air. You actually have to attack enemies with it for them to count. Then we'll do a couple of them. So, nope. Oh, yeah, tunic's not as good. Increase the mind, that'd be good. Yeah, not quite as good, easy to do on this controller. So I already had that soul, but what happens the more you collect the rank increases? So the shards actually get more powerful. There's going to be a chest up there that I can't get to because of not having the right ability to jump up there. Let's see. I know there's something on this side somewhere. Actually, I'm going to switch back to my short sword. I'll do that mastery stuff later. These things curse you, and I don't want to deal with it if I can avoid it. There we go. Not that wall. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there isn't a wall over here, but I could have sworn it's kind of mirror imaged with the other side. Maybe it's in this little corridor. Yeah, get my bucket. Well, took way more damage than I should have there, but oh well. Yeah, it might be this wall. Safe ring. I'm not going to equip the claymore. It is stronger, but and has longer reach, but it's such a slow weapon. I just never really enjoy using those. Technically, I'll go up here, but I want to kill this thing first. There we go. So there is a new one. So this is going to be... Did I not select it? I did not. So it's just a quick flail attack. It's nice. Just don't tend to use it that much, so go back over here and save again. Before I go out here and kill some things up on the deck. Oops. Ooh. Probably kill him with one hit with his own weapon. Uses a lot of MP though. Oh, and if you want to go true classic Castlevania, you just whip it. Whip it good. But I'm going to stay with the short sword for now, just because I feel it's a little more useful typically. Oops. And another ability. Let's see if I can time my jump to get on this. I don't remember if what's up here is useful right now or not. Yeah, I can't actually get to it because I need a double jump. Whoa, I forgot about him there. Oops. Used all my MP up. I'll be going back up there, that's why I didn't grab that chest yet. Let's see, what level am I? This will be a little bit tricky to do this, but give it a try.
So, Sleeping Beauty, you've decided to awaken.
Jeeble, tell me you didn't do this. It doesn't make any sense.
How does it not? After all the sins humans wrought upon us?
Johannes told me what they did to you. And you're right, it's horrible. But what you're doing now is just as bad.
No! No, there you are. Very wrong. What the alchemists did was reshuffle our bodies. What I intend to do is reshuffle the world. I'd say I've earned the right. Join me, Miriam. You're the only one who understands the pain I feel. What it's like to no longer be human.
What? I never thought I'd hear those words from you. I was the one that came to you broken. Convinced I was a monster. And you told me...
This is nonsense.
You told me... Our power doesn't make us good or bad. Our choices do. I'd given up on my humanity, but you restored my hope. Don't you remember?
Master Jeeble, we must return.
Yes. Miriam, I tire of reminiscing with you. You're here to kill me, aren't you? Then first prove you can find me. Along the way, you'll have no choice but to absorb shards and avail yourself of the powers of hell. If you can still claim to be human at the end of it all, then perhaps I might be more inclined to listen. Come, Gregory, we're leaving.
Jeeble, wait!
Oh no, tentacles. Yeah, probably running up was not the right idea. I might actually die if I don't use a potion or something. It's kind of embarrassing having to use that. Man, I'm really doing bad tonight. Whew. I guess that is what I get for playing this at 1:30 in the morning after having very little sleep last night. Oh well.
Just a flicker. That was the Jeeble I know. I will put a stop to all this.
Bloodstained.
We're here.
Was this a village? What happened to it? The demons Jeeble summoned?
They've moved faster than we hoped. Miriam, we have to hurry. This was where we were supposed to meet our contact.
All right. But wait. Let me clear the area. There are still demons about.
Actually, I will go back and save. Yeah, normally whenever I do early levels like that, I'm usually at least another 2 levels higher, so that would have probably saved me 1 potion maybe, but if I've been reading the updates correctly, I think the last day or two they actually did a major update to the game where they added in a classic mode that allows you to play the game more like a classic Castlevania game, which is kind of nice. So you go by levels rather than just playing open world like this, open 2D world. So I've yet to play that, but I will certainly give that a try.
Thank you, Miriam. You know who I am. And that means...
I'm sorry we couldn't get here sooner, Dominique.
So this is our contact.
Yes, the church sent me. As you can see, I know a thing or two about expelling demons.
An exorcist. And we're lucky to have you, Dominique.
And the church you, Miriam. Thank you for guiding her here, Johannes.
You wouldn't have asked if it wasn't important, but you should tell us why you need her. Miriam isn't one to shy away from danger, but she deserves to be armed with all the facts.
Yes, very well. I told you when I contacted you that the Shardbinder Jeeble is responsible for summoning the castle.
Yes, there's no mistake about that. He admitted as much.
What? You spoke to him?
Then let me get right to the point. I find it curious that the outpouring of demons, facilitated by one Shardbinder, just happens to coincide with the sudden awakening of the other Shardbinder after exactly 10 years.
You're right, it is strange. But the church doesn't get to drag Miriam into this just because the timing is odd.
Oh, do you decide for her then? I asked you to bring her here so she could see the horrors that have befallen the village and make an informed choice. I have no intention of forcing you, Miriam.
You don't have to. I gave Jeeble my word that I would stop him. What happened here only strengthens my resolve.
Thank you, Miriam. I am sorry to put it on your shoulders.
Pardon me?
Oh, hello there. Are you all right? We didn't mean to ignore you.
I'm all right, thank you.
You are quite welcome. Do you have a name?
Anne.
What a lovely name. Anne, you shouldn't be out here. Let me take you somewhere safe.
Oh, all right.
Come on, this way.
Alright, so we get to go to the central hub of what's going to be in this game, basically, where everyone's going to come to.
I did some looking around before, and this place seems secure.
Yes, agreed.
Johannes, you, Anne, and I will remain here. We can assist Miriam from safe ground.
What? We can't ask her to brave the castle alone?
Don't be foolish. She is trained in combat. Are you? We would only get in the way.
But that's not the point.
I'll be fine, Johannes. Please don't worry.
All right, but we'll be here if you need us.
Let's not waste any time. We have a lot to do.
Come back if you need anything. I'll get a workshop running so I can perform alchemy for you.
Thank you, Johannes.
I know you're strong, but be careful.
I will.
So yeah, you'll find yourself coming back here as you find additional people that you rescue. And some of them will have missions for you, some will give you supplies, some will perform alchemy for you, which is what his job will be. Basically, you can, I believe, mix shards or create shards and create equipment and stuff through them. It's been a little while, I can't remember exactly how each of them function. But you'll spend a lot of time with him. Skipping the dialogue for right now.
Miriam, welcome. Since this is your first time here, let me tell you a little bit about the supply post.
Please.
I have made arrangements so you can buy and sell items here. I would have liked to provide what you need for free, but seeing as we are largely cut off from the church's funds out here, I will need money in order to keep the supply post stocked. I hope you don't mind paying.
No, I understand. I appreciate you doing what you can.
I can also buy shards from you if you no longer need them.
Wait, is trade in demon shards even allowed?
Of course. The church would sooner gather them up and make certain they are purified. I am not permitted to sell them, but I can buy them off you. You may want to keep extras, since possessing multiple shards of the same type amplifies its power, but there is a limit to how far that can go. And more importantly, if you carry a large number of shards, your body's corruption
may accelerate, but I'll find a way to deal with that myself.
I still recommend selling your shards as a means of making money.
All right. I know you're looking out for me.
I think that explains everything. Now, would you like to have a look around?
So yeah, you'll be able to come here and buy and sell stuff, as well as selling off your shards. I don't believe I sold off many shards. Now, later in the game, when your luck is extremely high, you'll just have shards coming off of some of the weaker enemies. So at that point, it could be worth doing it, especially if you don't use the specific shards anyways. Just keep a couple on hand so you have it in your record. But then you can just sell off the excess, and every time you come here, just sell off to get yourself down from 9, I believe is the max. So there is uses for it, but I believe most of the shards don't even net you that much. Like 300, which early game, 300 is pretty good. Long term, 300 is not much of anything.
Oh, I forgot to give this to you. It's the key to the building. You can use it to explore further in.
Thank you.
I invited the other survivors inside where it's safe. They all have troubles that need resolving, if you can spare them the time.
I'll do what I can.
I know you will. Come back anytime. I'll be...
So yeah, you could, doesn't look like the old woman's here yet, but you're going to be doing a lot of fetch quests for some of these people, and it's completely optional. It's just for extra stuff. There's, like, rare items that you can get at the end of their quest lines, but you'll be collecting... You'll have an old lady that'll be like, "Ooh, I haven't had some kind of food in so long. I don't even remember the name of it." And she'll describe it, and you kind of have to figure out what it is, find all the ingredients, make the food, I believe using the alchemy, and then provide it to her. And then I think there's like 15 or 20 different foods that she wants. So there'll be different people that will be asking you for different supplies and whatnot. So it's kind of it's entirely optional, but it's a lot of fun. I did 100% everything, so I might be a little jaded, but let's see if I can actually move. It's so hard not just one-hitting these guys. I can carry more ammo. Yay! So, the castle is a pretty large castle. So these are teleporters that will allow you to teleport between the different teleport points across the castle. Right now I don't actually have any, so I can't go anywhere else. But there is one inside the ship that I couldn't get to. And then there'll be probably another 10 or so over the course of the entire castle. So there are quite a few to help fast travel because you don't want to be running around all the time. I missed that one my first playthrough early on, and I kept running back here until I realized, oh, I have a blank space on the map. Why is that? It was not fun having to run around. I mean, the good thing is I got to level up, so that's good. One thing I don't know if I noticed on the Switch, and maybe this does mean it looks a lot better, is I didn't notice the blood splattering onto the backdrop before, so that's kind of interesting. I'll have to go back and play the Switch one a little bit if I don't get killed by bats, and see the kind of differences between the quality. I'll have to pick up the Switch version, or the Steam version of the game sometime so I can see what a native PC version looks like. Come on, crash down. Yeah, let's get this real quick. And yes, I see your message, Chris, if you're still watching. Thanks for checking it out. This way is like an underground tunnel that will get you to the other side of a bridge. Actually, I'll go kill this rat. Really need to re-equip. Oh, that was worth it. Get that water one back out. So yeah, so on here you'll see that in the lower part there's a rank, a grade, and then MP cost. The grade is based on the number of shards you collect. The rank... Oh, is the rank how the more you use it? Wow, I can't believe I can't remember how the rank works. I think it's the more you use it, but I feel like that's not correct. Again, it's been a while since I've actually played this. So let's see if we have any others. But yeah, the higher those numbers get, which can go 9 and 9, the overall stronger their effects will be. Let's see if I can get that last little bit of that map opened up. I don't think I can without going back up. I'll deal with that when they get the double jump. And as a little teaser, you can sit down in a lot of the chairs. I think this is kind of a joke that started with Symphony of the Night, because there were some places you could sit down, just random places in the castle, and there were some places where you could summon up ghosts. Some of them were just telling you confessions if you're in those confession stands. Others would attack you while you're sitting in the chair. Just you think that they're going to be peaceful, and all of a sudden you get stabbed. So it's neat the number of like little Easter eggs they tossed in that was kind of throwbacks to his earlier games. You'll also notice, probably won't notice it tonight, but when I continue this another night, you'll notice there's like paintings of people. What those are is actual backers. So whenever they kickstarted this, they offered to the backers to have their pictures somewhere in the game. So that's the way they did it. Some people, I believe, sent in pictures of their cats and stuff, so you'll see cat pictures. I believe there's a cat monster that's based on people's animals. Cat and a dog monster, I believe. I believe it's just like a dog head. Come on. I assume these are some of the pictures from the backers. Some of them are a lot more obvious. I think a Dracula one definitely kind of screams backer picture. So I'm actually going to go back through here and see if I can get some of these shards to drop. What's funny is in the beginning of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, there was a similar room like this that just had respawning zombies or undead of some sort. And it's kind of a nice little, hey, we've recreated it in here to give you that kind of same place to kind of go and grind for early experience points, even though it's not worth a whole lot, but you can come here and collect more of those shards and stuff, and then you could technically use those shards to sell, which would be a viable use of this area. You'll later get a speed shard that allows you to run really fast, and I miss that right now. I forgot how slow this was early part of the game. Let's see, 179 till next level. So they're giving me 6. So let's see, I need to wait till I get one of those enemies on the screen. Okay, so 161. Oh, 1 experience point, not worth coming here and grinding. It'd be nice to get the shard though. I don't think I've collected theirs yet. I'll wait until my luck's a little bit higher. I won't sit here and do that right now. Shoot. Shoot. Oh. I believe there's a save point coming up, hopefully. Man, if I die to bats, that's going to be really bad. Oh, the lovely 8-bit coins. Oh, I don't have a way to heal, so this will be depressing to die by a bat. Oh, if that only healed you. Yeah, but that's just a normal. Don't even want to risk it right now. Not with 3 health. Man, I'm missing that healing shard too right now. Drink the blood. Get the health. I'll go through and read these a little bit later on. Good. So I'm not going to play too much longer tonight. I just kind of... Tonight was also just kind of testing the stream, since normally we're in the other room and we're on a different computer entirely. So I've been trying to just get this set up, since I'll probably be using this setup for the next couple weeks. I'll probably still do some board game reviews, maybe look at some more of our solo games, and maybe do a couple playthroughs of those. But I at least wanted to have another alternative to that, since, again, I'm gonna be in this mode for a little while because she's gonna be preoccupied. But let me know how this turned out, if anyone likes this. I know this is this game's a couple years old at this point. I love the game, so I'm going to play the whole thing again. And I feel like it's a good test of the Luna platform, because I know this game pretty well. So once my muscle memory kicks back in, I get my hands used to this controller, because even though it is very, very similar to... Let me switch camera views. While it is very similar to the Pro controller from the Switch, it does have a slightly different feel. The D-pad, while the D-pad is nice and solid, it's very clicky. I'm not entirely sure it's meant to be used the way I'm using it. They may be using it just more of your shortcut keys for a lot of games. They really do probably intend for you to use the left joystick, but I'm a classic gamer. I really prefer... If I could, I would hook a Super Nintendo controller up to this. Maybe I wouldn't, because, man, those were not very ergonomic at all, at least not most of them. But anyway, so I feel like playing this game is probably a good test of the Luna's platform for myself, because, again, I am familiar with it. So I am probably going to play through the entire thing over the next couple weeks. I'll probably do another stream tomorrow for a couple hours whenever I have some time in between some projects. But yeah, I'll go back and review this later on to see how well this works. I'm going to test out Amanda's little stream deck that I got her, see if our messages post. So, if this is the first time you're watching anything from WVGamers, we do a lot of game reviews, playthroughs, and whatnot, typically board games. That's just kind of how we started, but I've been playing video games for many, many years, since 91 or so I'm old. So I love video games. That's always been my passion. So I'm going to be trying to do more of these. I'm going to use this opportunity where we're going to be doing less board games to try to do some more video game reviews. I have a few that some companies provided keys for that I just haven't had time to go back and do. So I'll be playing a few of those as well. So I'll probably not play the entire games on stream unless they're shorter games. But I'll play enough to talk you through kind of what the highlights of the games, some of the things that are kind of drawbacks from it, and just kind of give my general opinion of how the game is from kind of an initial impression, or if I've played it a little while, kind of what I felt about it. There's a couple that I will definitely do that too, that I've played through the entire thing, like The Adventure of Pip, which is currently on sale on Switch. Love that game. It's a super simple game, but I just kind of sat down and one evening and just beat the whole thing. It was only like a 5 or 10 hour game, so it was very short. But so I'm going to be doing more of these. So if you haven't checked us out before, here is hopefully going to be a link that pops up in the chat to our website, if it works. I don't know if it actually worked. I don't see it, so it may not have worked. So I'll have to double check. I also don't know if I got my OBS set up right. I might not even have the right chat stream showing. So, I'll have to play around with that and figure that out. Also haven't used her stream deck that much. I got this for her for an anniversary gift in November, and I've let her kind of play with this, so I haven't even messed around with it a whole lot. So we'll see if our other link will send out. Probably not, but anyways, this will be a little bit cleaner the next time. Again, this is more of just a testing it, seeing how the camera is going to work, which camera, other than being a little fuzzy, seems to be good. everything seems to be okay as far as I could tell. So hopefully this was not too boring. It was a little over an hour, but hopefully you enjoyed the game. And if you're interested in the Luna platform, shoot me some questions. It currently is still for closed, like a closed beta or invite only. So I'll be using the platform a little bit more. I'll try some more of the 3D games because I'm sure that's what most people are interested in, is seeing how well it performs with more graphically intensive games. But in theory, it should work very similarly, since you're really just streaming, like streaming off of Netflix, because it's all their servers doing all the work. So in theory, as long as your internet's good, any of the games you play should work pretty well. Now, where it might come into play, where it's a little different, is how well the input lag is going over Wi-Fi. So I'll be testing that out, and we'll test some more of the other games and see how well it works. But for everyone who tuned in for this first, probably a little more awkward stream, thank you. Please provide me some feedback so I can improve it tomorrow, or later today, I guess. And have a good evening and a great weekend.